Colin Long. What's going on, Colin?
What's up, Jake? How we doing, brother?
I'm doing great. And we're joined again with Jennie of the Flock. What's going on, Jennie?
Nothing much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome back. Is this the third time now?
Yeah.
All right, it's a three-peat. I love it.
Awesome. And we're filming this late, so thanks again for both of you guys being able to hop on here and talk some pigeons because
Jake, you're a hardworking man. We'll work with you on this one. That's no doubt.
yeah, I just got back from Indianapolis, Tiffany.
Deer Creek?
Deer Creek, that's right. 3 nights of fish, but we actually got there a day early so that we were able to see Dopapod on their last tour. Yes,
Nice. That's a nice 4-night run. I mean, those fish shows were pretty epic. I feel like you got like the treatment. I'll say I thought those up in the run up until those shows were the best nights I thought they played, especially as the 3 nights in a row as a package. So a lot of tasty treats in there, I thought.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm the biggest fish fan in the world or anything like that, or even a fish fan in general. But these past 3 shows are the best shows I've ever seen fish play, and I've seen them about 15 times or so. At this point now, I mean, like I said, I'm not the biggest fish fan, but they played a song called Monsters that absolutely sent.
That song, and especially that version of it, I think is the best one they've played to date. Even in the morning, I was just watching the stream, waking up. You know, when you wake up in the morning, there's a song that's just bouncing through your head. Monsters, dude. That was at Monster Jam. I was sleeping on that song literally until they played it at Deer Creek. So for sure, a bust out version.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Why don't they play like this all the time? And all the fish fans were like, you're such a noob, dude. You don't understand. I'm just like, whatever.
You noob.
Whatever.
Well, I'm wearing my Mondo green glasses, so I'm ready. It's not screaming through space; it's creaming through space. So you know, I'm pumped up to see some shows. So I figure I'd start rocking my gear ahead of time. But it's too hard to see with those on, so I'll take those off for now. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, I've been down here in the drought of Miami. I was telling Jennie just a minute ago. Big news is we're getting out of Miami. We're moving north. So we'll be around more. So we're looking at Richmond, Virginia. We found an apartment. We're moving there in less than 30 days. So excited to be more towards the Northeast and kind of within arm's reach of a lot of stuff. So really excited.
That's great. Great to hear.
Yeah.
But
the Miami experiment is over.
Yeah, Miami's too hot, man.
The heat's not the problem. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah. But let's get down to business while we're here. And that's because Jennie has been seeing pigeons, and we want to know what's going on with pigeons. And what was your most recent show? Did you go to Northlands Music Festival, Jennie?
Yes. Yeah, I did Northlands.
Yeah. Okay. So
and then you were in Vermont too, right?
Yes.
Nice. That was the first night Gubb sat in, I believe, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big shout out to Gubb for stepping in. You know, it's big shoes to fill. I feel like, you know, Ben needed to take care of his, you know, personal stuff that's great. Gubb comes in. It was interesting as I look at the set list from night to night because it's a lot to learn. I don't know how much notice he had, but props to him for jumping in quickly. You know, killer bassist as he is from Twiddle. So, you know, everything I've listened to, I thought sounded pretty damn good. What was your kind of take on, Gubb versus Ben sit-ins?
Yeah, I thought, especially being there for the first night that he sat in, I think that was the best time to be there. From what I've heard, they only had a couple days notice that he was going to be filling in. So I credit him a lot for learning as many songs as he did. I know there was like a good amount of repeating, obviously, because he can only learn so many songs.
I'm not going to criticize him for it under the circumstances. I mean, they played the town a couple times, some melting lights.
Yeah, and I still think they did a great job, especially like being mindful about the order of stuff. So it still felt like a new show every time. But I thought he was musically, I think Gubb's incredible. I don't know a lot about Twiddle. I never got into them. So I didn't even know he was from Twiddle. And I'm like, wow, I can only imagine how good Twiddle is because he's incredible.
I mean, I was never big into Twiddle, but I've seen Twiddle maybe 20-ish times. And one of the most talented guys in the band, no doubt. I mean, he is a killer bassist. So when I heard that he was stepping into this spot, I was like, good grab.
Mhm.
You know, it's always tough to fill in a member of a band for any reason. There's always reasons band members need to step out and take care of family, friends, personal problems, whatever. But when people can step in and really crush it, that's really cool. And I remember seeing the set list from one of the first nights, and it was like, don't forget A, B, like it was like,
Yeah, a lot of
notes on like
commentary.
right. I think someone mentioned like it was Greg's, looked like Greg's handwriting that kind of put that together. And he was just like kind of giving him Jake, it was good. Like the cliff notes on, all right, in the jam, just remember these parts. Like, we rehearsed, but, you know, so, and it sounds like the guy's been doing it for a while with them. So on short notice to be able to jump in, learn all these songs. Yeah. Mad credit to him.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it was
well, if you look back, Twiddle's been on a couple tours with Pigeons, and they've actually, spent some time with each other jamming. And Gubb has done quite a few sit-ins with Pigeons, especially FUs. So just listening to this most recent show, that Space Jam in the FU, didn't skip a beat, but it's. I mean, I wasn't at any of these shows, and all I have done is listen to it and stuff like that. And like both of you have said, Gubb is a very talented artist, but it's not like Pigeons. There's certain things that if you listen to Pigeons long enough or anything like that, that you're expecting to hear or a vibe to feel with Ben on bass or anything. But I'm not taking away from Gubb or anything like that. It's just not the same thing because Gubb absolutely slaps. And I just listened to him, the Waterfront part show, not trying to jump ahead, but him actually singing the Poseidon part that Ben sings on. It's almost like, dang, Ben's got to really come back with his shit together.
Look, I think Ben's going to come back strong, rested up, ready to go. You know what I thought was funny in the Vermont show when they played Apples to close the first set. They had Ryan Dempsey on keys there, obviously kind of more twiddle guys, but they had the Mahali band keyboard player come out and do the encore, which I kind of thought was funny because like the Mahali band is like almost everybody but Dempsey. It's interesting, like kind of how that all worked out. So yeah, I just thought that was like just an interesting take on that. But it shows that there's all love between everybody there, and yeah, so it's been fun because I know a lot of Twiddle people have been really excited about this as well because there's a big the concentric circles of Twiddle and Pigeons have a big overlap. There's a lot of fans that are into both, so I think a lot of Twiddle fans. Look, I was at Friendsgiving, and I know anytime a band goes on indefinite hiatus or whatever they call that, it's a tough time. Bummer, you never like that. So to see your guys out there in different ways is always kind of like fun to do. And if you're a Pigeons fan and a Twiddle fan, it's a special treat for you.
Yeah, like there was a lot of people I met at uh, this fest that were just there for Pigeons, but were more Twiddle people primarily, and it was just like an extra treat. Like they already had tickets and were going for Pigeons, and then when they saw their Twiddle guy, they were like, "Oh, this is even better! Like this is the coolest mashup ever."
Yeah, I mean it made sense, and it was just it's great that Gubb was available because I'm just thinking like who else could they have found, right? Like these are big shoes to fill. And to your point, like, look, on short notice, they played actually more songs over time than I thought. And I thought it was interesting they played King Kong because that's obviously like
Hmm.
the Benest of Ben songs,
Yes.
right? So it was an interesting choice that they went with that. But Gubb did a really good job. But I do miss Ben. I look forward to him being back because to your point, Jake, earlier, like there's a lot of stuff that they couldn't really get into because that full chemistry wasn't there. Gubb's a beast and he's great, but the band as it is, with Ben, everybody in there, is really, really the magic comes from. And this is what I'm looking forward to having back again because he's going to be back at the next show, right?
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah.
back for Georgia.
Nice. Nice, nice. And Georgia's going to be a good show. And I think Shane was even on our last episode teasing that there's going to be some cool stuff too. So one definitely not to be missed if more than ever.
No, definitely not. I'm expecting when Pigeons come back, it's going to be absolutely fire because I'm pretty sure the rest of the band is going to Mondegreen. So
Oh,
they're going to have definitely a lot of inspiration coming their way because Trey has been absolutely amazing as well as everyone else in their band. So
yeah.
hopefully, I know that's Jeremy's favorite band. He had a fish shirt on today.
It's a good band to like.
But
I'm
yeah,
into it.
Jenny, you were at the Virginia Beach show too.
No, I was going to do that one, but then when I saw there was a free show half the distance, three or 4 days later, I swapped them.
This show
Makes
is
sense.
free too, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just 6 hours rather than a 3 hour drive.
Gotcha. Well,
But
yeah,
it seems like even for a kind of an oceanfront free show, I thought that like I watched that. I forget who was streaming it, but someone was streaming it in the flock, and I got to watch a good part of it. It seemed like just a pretty solid show all around.
yeah. I wasn't able to watch the stream. I think the person was holding it with their hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I was crediting him for is I'm like, man, that's like extra work. Look, at least Lee or someone else will Jenny, you'll attach it to something
Yeah.
so it just sits there so you can at least dance and vibe. But to hold it up, that's extra work.
Don't
So
do
so
that.
extra kudos. Yeah,
Don't do that for your own sanity. Don't do that.
do it for us, but don't do it for you.
Even
So
for us, you don't even have to. It's like I appreciate the effort, but enjoy the show. Yeah, if you're able to, like Lee does it or anything like that, definitely do it. But don't sacrifice the show by holding up a phone with your hand. That's got to be so tiring.
I feel like my shoulder starts to hurt just thinking about
Yeah,
that. Just holding it up.
I was a real trooper.
Yeah, shout
Yeah,
out.
he went through it.
But yeah, this show looked cool. It's like right on the ocean front, right on the boardwalk, I think, and tucked away a little bit. And of course, they played some water themes. Opened up with Julia, encore with water, and you know something that they've actually been playing a lot of lately is "Live Life."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, that
I'm happy with that and more in rotation.
used to be a bust out for the longest time up until like 2018. Then it dropped down again, and then it's been picking back up here.
Yeah, I know that
It's
Philly show we got Live Life, and I think it kind of picked up a lot since like Philly this past December.
Yeah, since Philly, it's played one, two, 5 times, and
Wow,
been played three times in the month of July, which is quite a bit.
quite a bit.
Yeah,
But I think that was to be expected as they're kind of, look, you're seeing a lot of songs kind of repeated. The Town, Water, Offshoot, Melting Lights. You're seeing that from show to show. But under the circumstances, I think it's completely understandable. I was actually really excited to listen to and kind of check out what they were doing with Carl Denson when they went to Gambler's Run. Uh, like when I saw the notes before I listened to it, it was Denson on flute, Denson on saxophone, Denson on Denson on vocals and percussion. I'm like, dude, is this guy like the one man band out there playing like
Dancing
all
on
these instruments?
everything.
I'm like, what doesn't this guy do? I mean, I was told it was going to be a lot, but man, they really like delivered on that. So when you see the set list and it's got all numbers and hashtags and signs and it's kind of like hieroglyphics, you're like, oh shit, I better listen to this one.
yeah, and Carl Denson is a super talented artist. One of the cassettes that I have in my Camry is the Gray Boy All Stars.
I love how it's a cassette.
Yeah, well, that's all I have in my car besides like a little plug-in, a cassette plug-in for my iPod. But a cassette is nice to have just to pop in. But
Yep.
it's the Gray Boy All Stars are a soul jazz band started by Carl Denson, but it has a whole bunch of other people on it. But yeah, man, I haven't even been able to listen to these shows entirely. Just a few clips here and there, and like the Canned Heat, Jamiroquai was super fun. and the flute uh, on offshoot. I don't think I've ever heard a flute with
It's
pigeons.
the off flute. Come on, how do you not think of that first?
I don't know. I didn't.
There was a flute with a Poseidon once, which,
Really?
yeah, in the teens, the 2000 teens somewhere. It's like Nate put that deep in the Facebook group once, and I
Hmm.
play flute
Interesting.
through like
Oh,
elementary through college, so I like geek out anytime we get flute. Like when we got Austin Litz on the flute during Harrisburg, super cool.
yeah.
Love that.
Good to
Nice.
know.
Extra geek out. I love it.
Yeah, Jenny with the flute knowledge.
Not only is she a road warrior, but she can also play the flute. Watch out, fellas.
Oh yeah, road warrior in the house.
God, just dump
You
money
bring
into
your
Yeah,
my
hold
car
on.
today
So
for
hold on.
that.
Jenny, what happened with did your car get hit? Hold on. What happened here? Because I just saw a little bit of it in the flock and I have questions. So what happened?
Okay, so Columbus show. Okay, I'm driving 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hour clips at a time this whole tour so far. No problem. No car accidents, nothing. I'm driving Garrett, Alex, and Ian from the Columbus show. This is my first time really hanging out with them, too. So I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, get in my car. And we're going to the Magic Beans after party, 10 minutes down the road. We make one wrong turn. So I'm like going down. I make one wrong turn. So I'm going down the road and I'm in the leftmost lane because it's a one way. My left turn signal on. And I'm like, you'd think it's safe to turn left because there's nobody that could be coming because there's no more road.
Maybe.
A black pickup truck flies up the bike lane and we go bonk. And I'm like, huh, man. Because, like, I don't react to
Ah,
anything. So I'm just like, oy vey. And we just, like, turn down the road. And I'm thinking the guy's going to stop. So, like, he slows down. I slow down. I beat my horn because he's not stopping. But he's, like, debating if he wants to stop. So then, like, somebody in the crew like gets out of the car, and by the time they get out of the car, the guy in the truck stops, gets out of his car, looks at the wrong side of his car, and then gets back in his car and drives away.
oh my
And it
God.
was
No
just like,
kidding.
okay. And everyone's just kind of like I said, I've been friendly with these people, but I haven't hung out with them yet. This was our first time
Right.
like in person, like really getting tight. So they're kind of like,
And now you're getting really tight.
yeah.
You're having a traumatic experience
Literally, they're
together.
like all like, and I'm like, all right, let's go rage some beans. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and look at my car. We're gonna miss the beans show. I mean,
Was your car okay?
it's fine. It had a dent. It has a dent. Like the whole door kind of went like bonk. But like, I looked
Uh,
at it in the dark, and I was like, oh, it's perfectly fine, guys.
it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
And then the
yeah.
next morning, like after the Airbnb, I like walked out, and I was like, hmm, it was kind of
It
less
was your
fine.
car or a
No, it was
rental?
my car,
Oh,
so it was
bummer.
fine. And then I like
Well,
popped the dent out when I got home. Most of it, it's fine. It's cool. So that was
all
Trucks
right.
are
Well,
minor.
she plays flute and she knows how to pop out dents. What don't you do, Penny? My God.
It was our minor hit and run between pigeons and beans. It was a
so
bonding
I
trip.
would
At least it
imagine
happens.
I would imagine just saying that you were probably on campus. Campus is the worst place to be on in Columbus, Ohio, because that's where the summit was. And I've actually been hit 3 times on campus on a bicycle, and it totally
Wow.
makes sense that a truck was driving down the bike lane.
I believe it, yeah. Because I said to them, I was like, oh, I guess that was like my fault. And Garrett was like, that was not your fault. Anyway, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I assumed that it's my fault. Somebody drove in the bike lane and hit me.
Naturally.
Yeah. He's just like, no. Like, I promise that was not your fault.
Yeah,
So,
big trucks get confused in the city when there's one ways.
yeah. It was fine. We only missed one song of the Beans show. So it was cool.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it the next day when I saw you in your car in Cincinnati. If that makes any sense, if that helps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take that. Wasn't so bad. It drove me home, so.
Well, glad no one was hurt. Everything was okay. But that's that. After a show, especially under the circumstances, because I imagine if I was after that show in your car on the way to a bean show, I'd have been freaking out.
Yeah. The comments from the crowd was like, I was almost nervous that we were gonna have to call the cops, and then I remembered I wasn't driving. I'm like, yeah, I got you guys.
Right.
Like, it's,
Well, clearly, you must have been really, really messed up.
oh yeah,
Obviously, knowing you, Jenny.
yeah, on my yerba mate.
Exactly. They check for that now. I heard. They're like, "Whoa, she's had more than one yerba mate tonight. Walk this straight
Yeah,
line for us.
actually,
No, walk this crooked
I
line
had a
for us."
Celsius the day after, right before the Newport show, and that was too much for me. I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna like drop dead in front of the Newport show from the caffeine. So
God, I envy you. I consume more caffeine throughout a day than is probably healthy. But I wish it also affected me like it affects you, and I'd probably consume less. But I
yeah,
guess that's what happens over time.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Coffee
Yeah,
addicted. But I love my coffee. Well, caffeine, I guess. I don't know.
I need my caffeine delivery systems.
All of them. But that second show at the Crystal Bay, wasn't even aware, I guess, that they had a second show or wasn't paying attention. But uh,
Pigeons and friends.
yeah.
yeah,
I didn't expect that to be any. I don't know. I thought that was just going to be after party mix stuff. I didn't realize they were gonna be doing like any
Covers.
pigeon songs, which was cool. More content.
Yeah, very pigeon heavy. I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of sit-ins. It pretty good all around. I mean, that was basically a second pigeon show, if you ask
yeah.
me. Because last year when they played there, I think they headlined 2 nights. I think that's how it went.
yeah, and I don't think one was like outside. I think last year, and
But I know they headlined 2 nights for last year, if my memory serves me. But this was like a little bit different setup. But you definitely still got 2 nights of pigeons, which is great. And yeah, that sunny day, comfortably numb sandwich was mwah, chef's kiss. I freaking love
I
that.
love
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right now. And yeah, guys from the main squeeze were on this show.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a sunny day binge lately. So anybody has any tasty old sunny days that I haven't been listening to, throw them my way. But it's been hitting right. Sometimes a song just hits. But speaking of a song that hasn't been hitting because they haven't played it, and there's a couple songs I've been complaining about. Obviously, "Stay." I'll keep talking about that because it's still Staygate, and we still haven't played it in whatever a million days. But of a more recent song, and I hope that when Ben comes back, they play it, is "A Mother Effing Feet on the Ground."
mm-hmm.
Like I've been like just chomping at the bit to get another one of those. It was such a good song, and they just kind of played it a couple times, then it's just been a little gap, which is cool. What do they say? Distance makes the heart grow fonder. But I still want it.
Yeah,
So come on, guys, let's get another feet on the ground. Like take it somewhere else, or do something, or just play it. But yeah, I missed that song. It's I listened to it because since they hadn't played it in a while, I hadn't listened to it in a while, and like yesterday, I just listened to it again for the first time in a little while. It brought me to laying on the ground in Mexico, laying in a puddle, listening to it on repeat for an hour and a half before Shannon freaked out and turned it off and said it was enough. It's cool for me, but when another person has to endure that, I can understand where at some point they're like, all right, let's play a different song or turn it off, whatever you want to do.
I get that. I
Yeah,
have.
I'm with you.
Sorry.
Sorry,
I would say
I
I
was
have
just gonna say.
playlists of like the same, like different versions of the same song when it's like a good song like
Nice.
that. So I'll just have a playlist of like 15 of the same song, and I'm like, this is perfect. This is how Nugs is supposed to work.
I mean, that's a way it can work.
Yeah,
I like that. I don't know if I've ever done that before, but that definitely makes sense.
no, I'm not a big playlist guy in general. Uh, but
I typically don't do playlists either. I'm just kind of either hunt and peck, or I just have a distinct thing in mind that I'm just playing on repeat in my head that I just
Me
don't
too.
turn off, and I just abuse myself with a song for hours on end.
yeah, but it is all I was gonna say when I was interrupting you guys.
Sorry.
Sorry, was Stay. I'm with you, Colin. Stay hasn't been played since November 4th of 2021
Yeah,
in
that's a
Indianapolis.
big gap for a monster song. I mean, just saying, guys, we need it. Any day now. I'd love to hear it. But it's like I said, they build that tension. Fine, when they finally play it, it's going to explode. But Jenny, you were at the Baltimore show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I underestimated how large that show was.
Yeah. That was so big.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple, 1,000, 2,000. I saw people saying there was like 10 to 12,000 people there.
I think so. So it was a little bit of a strange setup. At first it was like a gated off section in the front, the very front with like standing tables, and then that was closed off, and then it was like the back rail, and it was everybody had their chairs and blankets and everything, like what you would expect from like a local park concert.
Mhm.
And I was kind of like on this back second rail, kind of like eyeing how do I get into this section, and it was a VIP section for like friends, family, and donors of the radio station, which was like thousands of dollars a year to get into. And I was like, all right, well, that's a little steep for a rail spot. So, um, and then like as the crowd started filling in, the opener went on, and it looks like this radio station has a really big following, big crowd, a lot of people that support it, which is awesome. And then the guy in front of me was like, "You want to be in this? You want to section?" I was like, "Yeah, I would love to, dude." So he gave me.
I've never done it before, but I'd like to be up there to
Yeah,
experience
I'm
it for
like,
the
yeah,
first
it's
time.
my first time. No, so he gave me, and I had like Tyler Kidd with me, and we ended up getting like a handful of extra bracelets that they had for, I don't know, I guess he's a big donor, that guy, and we ended up getting like a whole crew of us that were there just to see pigeons, like in on the rail spot. So it was like a really cool, not so crowded area because a lot of people in it weren't like diehard pigeon people, but then we were still able to bring the like excited energy to the front. And yeah, it was like crowded. And from what I understood, that was like the most attention or paying attention that type of event has had. Like a crowd paying as much attention to the band as as that event has had.
I heard a lot of feedback saying it was, one of the bigger events they did. The crowd was most engaged. And look, Pigeons being a Baltimore-based band, obviously that's their hometown. They have a lot of local love. Makes a lot of sense. But I love to see people turning out like that for them, especially.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a lot of people that weren't there for pigeons, were there just for the radio station, and then ended up getting like really into the show, which was cool. It was like
Yeah.
exciting to see.
One of Shannon's friends went to that show, never seen Pigeons before. And now she's like, is it weird? I want to go see them all the time now.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, that's welcome to the
Yeah.
club. you know. But it was cool to see someone who went. It was a free show, just went to go to the free show. Not expecting anything, right? Just kind of like, all right, well, whatever happens, happens, and then leaving there like kind of a little bit low key obsessed with the band.
Yeah, I was trying. My cousin just moved to Maryland, so I was really trying to get her to come over after work, but she's like, "No, I'm tired." And I'm like, "If I could just get you to one show, I know it's game for all of those local shows." I'm trying. Yeah.
Reel 'em in.
Reel them in,
I
baby.
love taking people to their first show, or when you meet people who are at their first show. Like back when I was maybe in like the 2018, 2019, actually 2020, 21, whatever. When I was doing my pins, I would always like when I'd meet someone who's at their first show, I'd be like, all right, here's like 10 pins. I would like load them up. Like your first show, you're getting all the gifts, you're having the best time. I would do everything I could to make those people like feel special because like they're having the best time and they're like, oh my God, everyone's so nice. And I'm like, come back. We're all going to love you like this. Come on, just join us. Join us. One of us. One.
When I first started going to shows, I wasn't comfortable going to concerts alone yet, so I would just like bring whoever could make the show with me, and it took me 5 people to find somebody that stuck and wanted to see them again with me. And like the second I did, I brought my friend Gianna to like 8 or 9 shows so far, and that was like a
Nice.
year and a half ago was her first, and I'm just like it was like trial and error. I'm like, okay, you liked it, but you're not going to see it again with me. Okay, bye. Okay, next. Somebody else come with me. Oh, you don't want to do this again? Okay, bye. You liked it, but you don't want to stand that long? Okay, bye.
It's always tough to bring someone who doesn't really want to be there necessarily. And especially if like second set band's raging and they're like looking at their watch wanting to leave. you're just like, I've had friends. I'm like, look, if we go to the show, you come with me. We're not leaving until the show's over. At least I'm not.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, so if you want to leave and you're like bored or you're not liking it, like catch an Uber or wait, but don't sit here and like give me a hard time. Like, we're gonna leave after the encore.
Yeah,
That's it.
like the
So
consensus was
I would set
always like,
that kind of like
yeah, like
premise with them.
everybody I brought enjoyed the music and enjoyed the time like that they had there, but it was always too long of a day, or like I don't know, they didn't like standing through the openers to get to what I was excited for. So it was like I get it, and especially because the way that I do it,
It
it's
can
it's
be
a
a lot.
very long day getting there so early. And I know that people are not all, but that's why you just make friends with the flock. And then it solves all of the
Well,
problems.
that's where you meet your fellow rail people,
Exactly.
and you all kind of bond and you kind of have your thing because you're all the crazy people that are there super early in line. And I love you all, and I come meet you all in line, wave as I walk further down in line. But I appreciate my spot towards the back, so I don't need to be there so early. So
I don't know.
works for me.
I'm gonna mix things up this tour. I got a lot of shows, a lot of driving, not a lot of time to get there super early. So I've accepted the idea of not being on rail for every show. Like I'm going to purposely
Stop
do at
the
least
press.
one
Stop the
show
press.
not on rail.
Wait, we need to do a sanity check on Jenny. Is she feeling okay? Jake, look at her. Does she look okay?
She's hey, I'm telling you, you're gonna be fine just because like you know so many people in the flock, so no matter where you go, you're
Oh
gonna
yeah. Yeah,
feel
and that's the
fine.
thing too. It's like there's shows where I know that all of my friends are not going to be near me on the rail. Like the caverns. One night I'll do the rail, one night I think I'm gonna go back because it's a cool environment. I'm not gonna be like sweating too bad, and I all my people are not gonna be on the rail, so like I want to enjoy the rest of people too. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
once you're able to go to a show like that, that's what makes the show the best part, where you're able to bounce around and enjoy it with multiple different people.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, anyways.
No, I agree because I've had so many times where I've run around a show and I just ping pong or between different groups or people, or I see this guy or meet a new friend over here that I'll see at the next show. That's the beauty of it.
But I definitely understand where you get sucked in onto the rail because you're at such a good spot and you have such a good vibe going that you don't want to miss it and
Yeah.
stuff. I've been stuck on the rail for shows
Yeah. And the thing it's
too. So
like I like a specific spot on the rail. I like to be directly in front of Ben. It's just I don't know, it's my spot, it's my happy place. So it's like I think it's been a like a practice with not having been there. I didn't need to be in that spot. So I was like as you may have seen on the stream, I was like on Jeremy's side. And I was like, well, it's crazy. I've never been over here since my first show. I'm like, this is what everybody else does the whole show? Like, it's so cool. So it's been like, I've been like testing out existing in other spots. So I think I can test out existing like mix and I don't know. We'll see. If you just like see me
Look,
streaming from the rail every show, then pretend this conversation never happened.
like early days when I first started seeing fish, I was always kind of up towards the front page side. That was like my spot. That's where I went to. And even when I went to show by myself, I would just gravitate there. And then after a while, like I wasn't having a good time, just forcing myself into this area. So I'd go to other areas, and then I'd like, oh, come here, there, boom, and I realized like, oh shit, I could be anywhere in this venue. It really doesn't matter. I with smaller venues, like with Pigeons, I kind of gravitated towards a soundboard, a little more room for dancing. But once you kind of break free of that, like, look, front row in front of Ben is a great spot. I'll never
Good.
deny that.
Yeah.
But there's great spots everywhere,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of you can just be free to kind of roam. And now that you know more people, you just socialize, and it's really fun. I mean, that's one of the things about when I first started meeting more people in the flock, not going to show solo. I would go around and meet three people that they had a new person I didn't know with them. I'd meet that person. And then I'd come over here and I'd meet two more people. And the next show I was at, one or two of those people would be there. So now I saw the people I saw before with these two new people, but they had two new people with them. So now I know four more people. And then just boom, over time, you get to know more and more people. So when you go to these shows, it's like a family reunion almost.
Yeah.
So
Like
that's why I love kind of the size of the Pigeons audience. When you
it's
go to
perfect.
fish
Yeah.
shows, it's so big. Dude, if you're on the other section at MSG, you might as well be on the Mars. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to see you until after the show at best,
Absolutely.
But at Pigeons, I can see Jake's dumb head from across the audience. I go, boom, there he is. I go say hi to him real quick. But
that's
that's the beauty of it. I really love how Pigeons are the size that allows us to have that kind of community and see more people and socialize more at the shows.
Yeah, like
than you can at these giant
it was
venues.
really cool in the Columbus and Newport shows. Those were the first time I had like friends at shows that don't do rail. Like, but it worked out. I don't know if it was just the way the venue worked out and like who did VIP that day with me and stuff. Like, I was on the rail and I had like Garrett and Alex next to me. So then the entire rest of the crew we were hanging with like filed in like a pyramid behind us. And I just like turned around at one point and I was like, "Oh, I get it now. Like I get it's cool to not just see your friends after the show. It's cool to see them during the show."
Oh, for
And
sure.
I was like, "Okay, I got it. I guess I'll try. I'll try and follow a crew wherever it is at some point."
Yeah, there's like official crews and the unofficial crews, and I think as the show goes on, it just kind of the crowd kind of blends together more and
Oh
more,
yeah, like I'll
and
always
then you just kind
befriend
of
whoever's next to me. It's
look. That's the best way to go to a show is if I learned this early days is if you turn to the people to your left and right and you make friends with them early, typically they're more respectful of space.
mhm.
They're more just like kind, just because you just said, "Hey, I'm Jenny. It's nice to meet you. High five. I love this band. You love this band. Let's rage." Typically, everyone kind of is a little bit more communal. Versus if you ignore them, then there's kind of a wall up between the two of you, and sometimes there can be tension on space, and
Yeah.
you're dancing, you're bumping elbows or something, and you can get a little more aggressive. So meeting everyone around you is always just a good way to create that kind of
Oh
good
yeah,
vibe.
absolutely. And then it's like exciting too. Like during the Newport show, like the kid next to me, it was his birthday and he was really hoping for a snake eyes. And he had said that before the show started. So the whole show, like we're like snake eyes, and then they hit snake eyes. And then we're just like celebrating and you're celebrating with somebody you just met and you're like, "Oh, this is amazing." So it's always cool to like be able to call back to like little stuff that builds the friend. And then like he's posting in the flock. I'm like, "Huh, I know you. I saw you on that birthday show. Like that's so cool."
Love that. Yeah, to call a Snake Eyes and get it. That's not a song
Yeah.
that you can call out as easily. So if that's a not rare, but more rare song, I
Yeah.
guess. And yeah, I'd be pretty stoked if I was chasing a Snake Eyes and got it.
Yeah. That Newport, Kentucky show, so cool. That was like I couldn't have handpicked a better set list. It's just like every song I had been talking about and loved. Great.
Sometimes it all comes together. But let me ask you a question, Jenny. Since you've done a couple of the shows this year, what's been your favorite pigeon show this year?
It's got it Richmond Night 2 was a solid one for me. I really loved that. That was cool. I had my dad with me too. That was
Oh,
his
there you
first two
go.
pigeon shows. I had Brian Buckley flew in from It was a great show. I love the high and dry cover also in a Sukasa. Great. That was amazing.
Sukasa is always a
Yeah.
treat.
Valentine's Day in Savannah was really cool. The Love Rain on Me, that's just like an unmatched cover for me. Um, and that was cool
And a
too.
good day to play it too.
Yeah, and that was the start of
Right?
like a 5 night run. So it was like the energy was so high. Jack Harper just flew in. Like it was so cool. That was a great show. And then this Kentucky show, I think, was my other top. If I could pick three.
Yeah. Well, wait, didn't we? You jumped in with us and Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, we
The St.
last
Peter's were right after that, right?
yeah, I was in the car with you
Yep.
guys for that last. Jack and I hopped in, yeah.
That feels so long ago. This blows my mind. Is like where I'm like, holy shit, that's this year.
Yeah.
Like if you would have asked me, I would have been like, oh yeah, it was last year. That was definitely last year. It feels so long ago. That just tripped me out. Wow.
Yeah, I get you. It's okay. I feel like Texas feels like a lifetime ago also. And that was like
Yeah. Well,
under a full
that was
year.
one of my favorite parts about like you talk about how you meet flockers, right? Is that Lee knew us driving from Austin to Dallas, and he was like, hey, I know this girl, she's looking for a ride, can she jump in? And I was like, yeah, sure. Lee, you know me, better or worse, I'll let anybody jump in the car.
Yeah, and that's how I'm
If I
trying to
got open
be. I'm not
seats.
trying to crash every time, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
big on the like I just like jingle my keys at the end of the night like I'm trying to pick up like a dog or something. I'm like, anybody need a safe driver? Anybody need a safe driver? And then like people come to the car and I'm like, all right, come on in.
Yeah.
Like, go where you I'll take you wherever you want.
Wherever we want. All right, that's good to know.
Probably.
Yeah, probably within reason.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Anything else you want to add to the Waterfront Park show?
Kashmir was exciting. That was really cool. I wasn't expecting that, especially because we've been getting a lot of. I wasn't expecting a cashmere. I feel like something. Oh, cashmere to war pigs. I was excited to have both of those in the same show. I don't know. That was just cool. And I feel like that Space Jam with Austin, right? Austin, it's not marked on here, but Austin Litz was on sax for Space Jam
Yeah.
into FU. That was really good.
Dude, Litz kills it every
Oh, he's
time.
so good. I saw him like wandering around, and I've seen him kind of like walking around at a couple things before and then hasn't sat in. So I was like, oh, cool, he's here to see the show. And then he got on stage. I was like, why didn't I think that he was going to sit in? I was like, this is amazing.
Right? Yeah, I thought it was good for them to get a All Right Tonight in there. Not like it's been a long time since they played it, but about 2 months. But still, that song is a top song for me. I think it was like getting Gubb to learn it, among the other ones. So seeing that pop in the set list was great.
Yeah, I was almost a little surprised to get a Horizon Poseidon back to back, but I feel like that was kind of like they're two kind of like build the energy songs because you're just like okay, like starting this long intro again, and then it like gets into it, and then you're like okay, cool, cool, and then you come out of it, and then you're like okay, building the long intro again, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's just hit it. Let's go. Let's go. All gas, no brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
Okay, well, let's go into tour dates coming up then.
Oh yeah.
So,
There's still a couple days of gap. I hope next year they kind of get back to a more consistent schedule. I think there's been some breaks, but these guys need some rest. They need to, work with their families. So uh, all good with it, but definitely looking for more Pigeons.
yeah, three. Definitely agree with you. Pigeons are coming back on the 22nd. That is exactly 2 weeks from today, since it's now the 8th. 1:04 in the morning Eastern as we're recording this, but yeah, the 22nd in Athens, Georgia, they return with Underground Springhouse, and then the next 2 nights they are in the caverns underground where they pick back up with Andy Frasco and Dogs in a Pile.
That's going to be crazy. I think like I'm bummed I'm not going to be there. I still want to try to make a last second send, but I don't know if it'll happen. But I think those cavern shows are going to rage. Certified.
I'm excited and fearful at the same time.
I like how you're a little fearful.
I fear Andy Frasco.
I think it's an appropriate feeling,
I want to make that a sticker.
I'm definitely having some anxiety a little bit about the caverns right now. We still don't know about what's going on with vending there. Are we going to be underground or outside? Or we don't even know if they're going to let us like camp there or not yet. But I do have some stickers on the way. Different varieties, different types. Gonna hand those out to anyone that comes and gets them from me. So you got to come get them from me. I can't really be popping around handing them out to people.
Oh, and he's popping off as he does. But he's gonna have some stickers, and they're gonna be at the caverns.
In the meantime, I
And
also have stickers.
he asked me about one of my old pieces as well. So I believe he'll have some of those stickers of mine to hand out as well.
I have.
Do you see me? I'm back, am I?
2 stickers I gave out. I gave out like poor, like bad quality stickers for the beginning of this tour, and then realized how bad quality they were, so I spent more money to get like nicer quality stickers. So I have, even if I gave them out to people, I will give you new, nicer quality stickers. It's like a
Jennie's stepping up her sticker game.
It's like an I Survived the Pigeons Frasco Dogs tour, and all I got was this lame sticker. I made that.
I love that.
Thank you.
Oh my
I made
god,
that out of the tour poster colors. And then I have it's like a pigeon with like the sleeping Z's, and it says "Rage, Rest, Repeat."
That's perfect. Look, when I used to give pins out at shows or stickers, or look, people make crafts. I know people who all kinds of stuff, right? I have literally a box full of the weirdest shit that if you were to look at this box, you would go, "This is a box of trash," right? And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is a box of treasure." This is just amazing. Jake, we can't hear if you're talking, just saying that, but we'll keep going. But I have little clips, I have slap bands, I have bracelets. I mean, you name like this, the random stuff, but each one of them is like, oh no, I got this from this person at this show. Oh my God. And there's a story behind every little piece of
Oh yeah, I'm a
merch
hoarder.
that I have. Oh, I definitely I have little shoe boxes full of just weird crap,
Yeah, like I don't even know where this came from. It's just here. It just appeared
love it
in my
though.
bag and it's mine now.
Well, that's how that goes.
Shout out
Can
whoever
you hear me?
left that with my stuff in Columbus.
Yeah, I had a party in my room one night, and Michelle, she left her little stuffed animal pigeon, and it traveled with me to Miami, to this place, and then I knew she was going to be at a show again. I wanted to reunite her with her pigeon that she had left in the room, and it was just like she wasn't even expecting it. I pulled it out, and I gave it to her. It just blew her mind. She's like, "Oh my God, Pidge is back!"
That's great.
Can you guys hear me?
But Jake, should I just take it through? Scroll up and down if I should take it through the set list or the show. There we go. Okay. So we're going down to Alabama on August 25th, Avondale Brewing Company. Then heading down to South Carolina to the Poorhouse, which I love that name. I really do, because it's just kind of funny. We're going down to the Poorhouse. I feel like I live in the Poorhouse sometimes. But those will be some great shows. They always bring the heat to South Carolina. From there, the Dogs Pigeons Frasco tour kicks back up, going up to Worcester, Massachusetts. Then from there, going to August 31st, they're at the Rooftop Pier in New York, Pier 17. I believe that's going to be Lee's 100th show.
Oh yeah.
Trying to make it for that one. I'm definitely trying to finagle ways to get there. From there, September 1st, Thompson's Point, Portland, Maine. And then they go down to the Outpost at New Fayetteville, West Virginia, River Gorge. Scrolling. There we go. Jake's back, sort of. We're going to the Devil's Backbone, Roseland, Virginia. I will be moving to Virginia days after that. So as much as I want to make that, maybe I move there a little earlier. What do you think, Jenny?
I think you should come down and just camp there and leave all of your stuff in a U-Haul while you're camping and then move in the next day.
Solid plans.
I got you.
Love that. I'll take that into mind. Then from there, they're back up to or down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then over to Vegas for the Bender Jamboree, baby. Let's get after it. I'm excited to hear how that one goes. From there, they go to Ocean's Calling, little festivals closing out the season. Then from there, it's to Indy, Brooklyn Bowl, Nashville, Tennessee, where they start the Halloween run between Indianapolis, Brooklyn Bowl, and Asheville, the Vogue Theater.
Jake looks excited about that one.
Kendall Street Company definitely seems excited. Shout out to my buddy JT, a former guest on the Flockast. Definitely going to try to make at least the Nashville, Tennessee, Brooklyn Bowl run. A lot of miles between these shows, but I definitely think they're going to be one to be seen. Looking forward to hearing what the theme is. Always curious, love wildly speculating. Jake loves to wildly speculate with me. If I could hear him right now, he would be telling me hair metal 80s boy band or something like that. Oh, yes. Anyway, some more dates coming out after that, but I think overall we got some good stuff ahead. The boys pick up here very soon. Jenny, anything else you got on your mind, want to talk about before we close out the episode?
Natalie Brooke is playing a pre-show at one of the South Carolina nights. And I'm very excited for that. She goes on the deck. I don't know if it's the first or the second. I think it's the second night. But she's playing on the deck before the Pigeon show. And I'm very...
What shows do you have coming up?
I'm doing everything from...
Everything.
Georgia, Tennessee. Yeah, I'm doing everything from Georgia through North Carolina. So I'm actually going to be on the road for 3 weeks straight.
She's on the road again.
On the road, yeah. So it's me full 3 weeks. I stop home for like 2 days in between, and then like after Maine, and then back out to Fayetteville. So it's like some of these have like 15 hours between them. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool.
Well, you're ready for it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up right now for the band. Excited for the full band to be back together at the next shows coming up. I really feel like it's going to be some special nights coming up. So for those of you who'll be in attendance, I think you're in for a treat. Oh, what do we got here, Jake? He's like ghost. He's ghost. He's here in spirit. Yeah, there's Ben looking fly as hell, dude. That sexy motherfucker. I love him. All right, well, we'll close it out here, guys. Look, great episode. Jenny, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having
Good
me.
luck on the upcoming tour. I hope to see you at a show very soon. Drive safe to everybody out there. We love you. And thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, please also like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We've been getting a tremendous reach out of it, which is kind of cool. The podcast is seeing some very organic growth. A lot of people are seeing it. So I really appreciate everybody who tunes in week to week. And Jenny, take us out with one last